Good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching. So I'm Mohammed Hossain, uh, with our regular show, The Other Way Around. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Gabriel. He needs quite a bit introduction here, like he's a head of education, fashion design, and fashion business, creative copywriter, professor from NAVA, professor for the Masters in Fashion, Digital Marketing, Cultural Marketing, professor for BA, Graphic Design, Genesis and Cultural Communication, member of the Scientific Committee and lecturer Modart, course coordinator and lecturer IED Instituto Europeo di Design. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome you and let us hear about you from you. How are you, Gabriel?
Thank you, Zubayer. Thank you. How many titles that you read about me? I am realizing only now how many things I'm doing from your words. I am fine, thank you. I'm very glad today. For me, it's morning now, but I say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the people that will watch us. And I was saying I'm very glad to be here this morning with you. We tried many times to meet, and finally we are here. Me from Italy, from Milan. And I am very glad again. I thank you a lot, you and the Designing Global Foundation, for the nice opportunity that we have today to speak about, I think, artificial intelligence and other arguments
Yes,
as you like.
definitely. So we can we start with a little bit personal information like your successful journey and the experience in the fashion industry, like how you became who you are today. So how's the journey for you? Is it tough? Is it good? How everything goes and how you feel now and how you approach to others and what's your journey in short?
Sì, for sure, for sure. I tried to make a summary about the variety of experiences that I collected in my 21 years of experience. I started simply as everybody, of course, studying. I have to say this also for all my students because it's important, of course, to go to university, to academy, and to be curious about the world around us. I can say definitely, I have always been a very curious person, and therefore curious about, the stuff around us, the physics, very curious about literature. As you can see, I have quite a wide collection of books, not only here, of course, in some other places. I started studying, then I decided to start a career in the field of advertising, and I worked more or less, yes, approximately 10 years in total in some various and famous international advertising and communication companies, such as I can mention one just to say the example, Saatchi and Saatchi, that is quite a renowned agency of communication and advertising. And at a certain point of my career, I discovered also the pleasure to teach to people, to young minds. I was young as well at that time. I was around 29 when I started teaching. And I discovered that teaching is totally another job, another profession, that you need a lot of passion to do that. You have constantly to be updated also about the desire of the
Right,
younger people. And,
right,
and that's how I started to teach. Then I have had a very long history, not in Milan, but in a professional history, of course, in Florence, in Firenze, always in Italy, where I became a head of education of a famous fashion school in Florence that is quite renowned. And then, because of the twists and turns of life, I decided and I was pushed to come back to my city, that is to say Milan, and here I essentially started my own studio, senior studio. I started a variety of collaboration with many different academies and universities, such as NABA, that you mentioned, and Mood Art in Verona, another beautiful school, but also international school, such as HAMK in Finland. So we can definitely say that I started in Milan, but I am speaking and I like to speak with the entire world, with no exceptions. So this is more or less what I did. I, of course, did a lot of projects, books, but
Incredible. Yeah. We
this is
will get at those later on in our conversation, no issues. So as you are a professor, you're teaching your students regarding AI and you're really aware about it. So we are really interested and we're really lucky to have you with us today. So we would like to know about it more. So uh, if you give some insight light into the topic, like the role of AI in creativity, how to use it wisely as augmented imagination in your perspective.
okay. You mentioned something that I love. I love to talk about this kind of argument and topics.
Yeah,
Artificial intelligence from more or less the boom of it, especially during March 2023, at least in Italy, when it started, the phenomenon, the big phenomenon started to be mainstream. I almost randomly, because of my curiosity, me and Andrea Filippi, that is to say a very close friend of mine, and we work always together, we decided almost immediately, we had this idea, why don't we publish a book immediately? Like in the same week when the artificial intelligence started to be a phenomenon in Italy. And we published this book of poetry in more or less 8 days, even less. And during the composition of the book, we realized that, yes, we call it artificial intelligence, but we prefer a lot, I personally prefer, to refer to artificial intelligence as augmented imagination. Because
right.
for creative minds, such as fashion designers, people working with ceramics, writers, copywriters, I mean, all this kind of creative profession, I personally think, I am of this opinion, 100% sure about it. Artificial intelligence can be that kind of tool that can improve the possibilities, opening new horizon of your creativity. It is definitely, instead of opening only one window when you are brainstorming, when you are thinking, you have the white page in front of you, okay, and you don't know what to do. In this moment, the artificial intelligence, and now talking not only about Midjourney, so not talking only about visual output, but also ChatGPT 3.5, ChatGPT 4, they literally can be used in order to unlock the possibilities of your imagination. And when we started to use artificial intelligence in this way, everything changed. I
Changed,
mean,
right? Yeah.
definitely less intelligence, but much
Yes.
more imagination. And
Imagination.
this is our somehow disruptive approach to the artificial intelligence, to consider it not as a goal, as many other colleagues of us are looking at it, but to consider the artificial intelligence like a tool, not differently from a pen, not differently from the T9 when it comes to, when the T9 is completing your sentences.
Right.
Artificial intelligence is not different from that. It's not so different.
Right.
But it is, when it comes to quantity, it is definitely another level.
Another
And
level.
this is how it started. And therefore, to use it wisely, my suggestion, also if we have designers, as I probably think that are following us, the biggest challenge is to understand that you can unleash creativity using artificial intelligence. It's
Right.
not about addiction. It's not about looking for algorithms. It's about really creating things that our mind normally is too lazy to create.
Right. So can you tell me something about the book that you're talking about? We are really interested to know. I don't know I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. Posi della macchina prosante. So the translation is poetry from the thinking machine, poems of the AI. So can you tell me something about it, a glimpse of it? Right?
First of all, everything in the book, I have here, the book is this one. The book is this one.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we have our small mascot here, and the book is totally crazy. Why is a crazy
Okay.
book? Because we, from the very beginning, from scratch, from the zero moment, we asked to the machine, okay, we want to write a book about poetry. Give us some titles. And the machine started to give us back a long list of titles. Therefore, then we decided which is the title. We asked, okay, we are Andrea Filippi and Gabriele Moschin. Please, we know that we are not famous, but can you write our biography? And the machine started to write an invented biography about us. Totally invented. Very funny. And we were looking each other, Andrea and I, like, gosh, but it's unbelievable what is going on. The book, the book has started to be reality. Okay, ChatGPT, please, can you list? I don't remember how many are the poems, but I can go to the table of content immediately. 37. We have 37 poetry here. And we asked. I was the writer. Andrea is more visual. So just to say how it is done. We have the poetry and then we have a picture. Okay, but everything has been decided by ChatGPT. So our intervention,
Crazy, really. Yeah.
crazy. It's just prompting a little bit, okay? Then we got the poems, and we asked which is the best illustration for this poem. And ChatGPT-4 3.5 at that or 3 even at that time, because it was I think March 2020 the third, so immediately after
Okay.
the boom of the AI, and the machine described us some situation. We took this description and we gave this description to another software, that is to say DAL-E. So in order to
For
produce
the image
images.
creation. Yeah. Yes. Right.
Exactly, text to image, the typical text to image
Yes.
generator, and DALL-E gave us back the images. So to do that, to do 37 poems ready on paper, we took 2 days. It was paradoxically much longer to ask to Amazon the permission to print the book. That is to say, 8 to 9 days. It's incredible. This is totally game changing. And
Yes. Right.
we were so fast that also Vogue Italia decided to dedicate immediately 2 pages of their issue of May 2020, the fourth. I have here also Vogue to remember, because I am getting older, so I needed I
It's fine. It's
needed the
fine.
paper. I needed the paper
It's
around
fine.
me, and and they dedicated immediately a couple of pages to the book because it was, by the way, the first in Italy.
Amazing.
That's the story.
Amazing.
That's the story. Yes. So another good advice to creative minds is to always be fast with the eyes around and to catch immediately the opportunities. Immediately,
Right.
to jump immediately, to understand immediately
Right.
the news. This is something important, I think.
So, from your perspective, what can be found in AI to be creative in a new sense, like errors, hallucination, mistakes, and all? What will you think?
Wow. Okay. Especially now, so not 2023, but nowadays, now today is 19 April 2024.
Fourth, yeah.
Fourth. Everybody, I mean, at least the creative minds of a good level, we are looking for some new aesthetics, okay? New way of expression throughout the use of artificial intelligence, especially now Midjourney. I am personally working on the Discord platform using a lot of bots, and the bot that I'm using the most is, of course, Midjourney. Midjourney gave you the possibility to create version 6 in this moment, to create a lot of visuals. You can make variation in a strong, in a weak way. You can upscale the file, so you can also
Right.
obtain good stuff at the very end of the chain of production. And I was wondering if we can jump from the advertising slash communication field into the artistic one. And the answer is yes, we are actually doing this. So we are starting to produce not only, stuff for brands, but also our own creativity intended as a form of expression and therefore art. And to do so, we were trying to understand, okay, but which are the peculiar elements that artificial intelligence is giving back to us?
Right.
And my answer is exactly the errors. So when the machine gave you back something that is not perfect, that is
Right.
in between disturbing and fascinating. Okay, there are some theories also about this. The name is the uncanny valley. So in between what is human and what is totally not human, and artificial intelligence, it is really in the middle. And then also hallucination, real mistakes from easily, if you ask to Midjourney, two hands shaking, you got a lot of
There will be
fingers.
several fingers, yeah, like 10 fingers or
Okay,
11 fingers in a hand, right? Yeah.
bravo, exactly. That is disturbing. Okay, this is not art at this level, of course, but suggest immediately, there is a suggestion in this terrible amount of fingers, in this crowded hands, that suggest
Mhm.
us to push it a little bit further, and therefore to create something that is immediately understandable as created by artificial intelligence, but somehow elegant, somehow sophisticated, somehow beautiful, and therefore able to convey a message. We are in this day, just to spoiler, we are exploring this unexpected path in the machine, and it's curious, Zubayer. It is very curious that after many hours of production, of hours that we are spending on Midjourney, a lot, you started to understand which are the real, I mean, you started to understand what the machine likes. And it's quite
Right.
strange to say. You started to create somehow a feeling with the machine. And it's something very strange because you started to become empathetic with something that, of course, it's just composed by 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So I suggest also to all the other creative minds or curious people to explore the boundaries of this territory because it is very interesting. I am also following on Instagram, for instance, some other artists that are producing AI, and I noticed that the most extraordinary artists are going in this direction, definitely. So
So, can you tell me like how you see the future with AI? Like, it's good or bad?
yeah, here
Because
depends. Here
yeah,
Here depends. For sure, we won't have any ridiculous Terminator in our cities going around. But two are the options essentially. Now we are dealing with artificial intelligence that we call narrow artificial intelligence. That is again not different. Not very different from a pen, not very different from television, not very different from our cell phones. If we start to keep into account the words of Elon Musk, for instance, or also scientists about the creation of a general artificial intelligence, in this case, the landscape in front of us is totally different. So two are the options. One is that we will become for sure less human. And this is sad to say. Less human means that we will have machines everywhere doing a lot of jobs, doing my jobs, for instance. If I can write a book of poetry now, artificial intelligence can make a musical composition like Beethoven, like Bach, like Led
right,
Zeppelin, like Rolling Stones. So also creativity. If you start to take off creativity from me, from our human minds, the result will be definitely apocalyptic, if you want.
right,
Okay,
right.
automation everywhere, human relationship really. I mean, we will feel very isolated in our headphones, visors, speaking each other on virtual
Right.
territories, and this is not a future that I like a lot. I prefer to run in a forest, to touch people, to greet, to hug.
Feel the warmth,
Uh,
the texture, and everything, right? Yes,
exactly.
I'm gonna ask you regarding this, like, what can we do in front of the development of AI, like becoming more human versus becoming less human? So it's about the thing, like,
Uh,
yeah, yes,
Less human is what we said right now. Exactly.
right,
So
yes, yes,
we will start also to speak a more machine-like language. Exactly like
right,
I said before, I started to feel somehow empathetic with a machine, and this is also scaring. This is something scaring somehow because it's the first step into something different
right.
towards towards becoming I don't know, also cyborgs, or now I don't want to be too much science fiction related, but there are possibilities about singularity, transhumanism theories, and so on. On the other hand, there is this, we can call it the myth of the virtual Athens, okay?
Yeah,
That is to say, essentially, when the people of Athens were devoted to speak about philosophy, it would be this what was possible because of the slaves. This is not nice to say at that time, because slaves at that time were human beings, okay?
Right.
For us can be the same. So we can dedicate, you and I, much more time to be human and therefore to do human activities if we have machines used as slaves. In
Right.
fact,
It's an interesting point, right?
the term robota, comes from the Czech language, and it means slave, forced labor, forced labor. So the more the robot, the more the time that you, Zubayer, and I, we can dedicate to our music, contemplation
Yes.
of the universe, philosophy, talking about, I don't know, religion, and
Life.
so on.
Yeah.
Life,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Philosophy, why not? So this is
Yes.
the
This is I
optimistic.
didn't think about it like this. How you think? It's really thinkful. Like if machine do some work for us, then we can have the time to like do stuff, like go to you, like talk to you in person, which we already mostly forgotten due to like phone and those social medias right now. Like all the what can I say, the youngers in the household now, we see all the people are into look into the screens. Like if we go to a hangout in a family gathering, like everyone has the screen,
Before.
and they all, yeah, typing and all. But like in the 80s or 90s, almost 20 to 10 years back, like this revolution is not there. And when we hang out, we have a family gathering, the things are really different. So the now, yes. So yeah, it's interesting from the perspective of yours that yes, if we can occupy the AI or the robots or the machines do human
Working.
job, then we can, yeah, yeah. So
There
it's
is,
also,
Zubayer, sorry, there is one
yeah, yeah,
issue
sure, please.
here. There is one issue. This is my optimistic projection about the future. The point is that if we are living in a capitalistic, we are immersed into a capitalistic society, you understand immediately better than me that it is not the interest of the capital to allow you and I to speak about philosophy, but
Right.
again to all the free time that we can gain will be reinvested into another form of labor, to be sincere. So there is this issue behind the scenes that is threatening my optimistic vision, just to be very sincere. So I hope this opportunity to become a reality. Let's see. Let's see.
Yes. So as we were talking about AI and the journeys and all, can you tell me about your thought regarding de facto in AI? Is AI?
Okay, this is a difficult question, but at the moment, we have already talked before about about the differences in between narrow artificial intelligence and general artificial intelligence. So not able to look at itself and able to look about itself. But in general, we can say that artificial intelligence is like a form of reductionism. What am I trying to say? That since the invention of the neural links, artificial intelligence tried this operation to copy paste the electrical connection in our mind. okay?
Wow.
Forgetting, by the way, about the chemical and the biological connection, because our brain is not only working, of course, using electricity. This is something that can immediately give us back a huge difference from the myth of the artificial intelligence that is like the human brain, that is absolutely not true, and a tool, okay, artificial intelligence, that is a simulation and not even an emulation of the human mind. This is immediately a huge difference that I would like to emphasize, because we are not, because it is not a race in between AI and the human mind. It is not like they are running together in order to achieve some goal. It is not about that. So this is a big difference that I immediately like to emphasize. Then, of course, artificial intelligence is that area of engineering, we can say, okay, of engineering that looks at a variety of problems that immediately cease to be part of its studies once solved. What does it mean? That artificial intelligence is able to deal with an incredible variety of human and not human fields. And once the artificial intelligence has been able to dominate, so to perfectly understand a human field, that field, it is not longer part of its interest. And artificial intelligence immediately go beyond to the next challenge. There is a very interesting, one of the most great AI scientists ever, but also a writer, a researcher, Hans Moravec, that said that another big difference is the fact that intelligence, your intelligence, my intelligence, is embodied. We have a muscular intelligence. I mean, we have neurons not only in our brain. Okay, it is an invention of René Descartes, the philosopher, to split the mind and the body. But we have neurons in our stomach everywhere. I mean, there is also the so-called Connectoma project that is clearly illustrating that the brain is not only a small ball of gray matter here. If you have to play the piano or the tabla, you have muscular intelligence. If you have to
Right.
open and you use the right hand to open doors or to do some kind of small exercises, but I am right-handed. If I have to do the same with the left, I have to think more. It
More,
is more
right.
difficult, more difficult.
Yes.
So until artificial intelligence is beyond a screen, it's not this kind of intelligence.
It's on, yeah, yes.
It's totally another field. And of course, it is different if one day, but here there are many different theories, if one day we will be able to replicate not only the electrical connection of the mind throughout, again, 0101 and a series of doors, but also the chemical language of our brain. That's another discovery again, and this is something that probably in the future will happen. And this kind of scenario will be again totally different. totally different.
So, what is the art of prompting then? Like,
The art of prompting.
yeah,
The art of prompting is the capacity. It is the capacity that we can have or not when it comes to talk to the machines, essentially. So
right.
now,
Wow. Yeah,
of course, we are at the very beginning, so you still have to be closer to coding than to human speech or language. But the recent development also in Midjourney, so again, an narrow AI, I mean, we are going to a direction in which you essentially just talk
right.
with the machine, and the machine immediately will be able to understand your desire, the way you speak, the kind of behavior that you have, if you are very serious, if you are more funny, if you like irony, if you want only very professional, authoritative output, or vice versa, something much more crazy, bizarre, weirdo output. And we are going, by the way, to in this direction. At the moment, prompting is an hybrid language in between poetry and coding. It is
Okay.
in the middle. It is in the middle. Then linked with the topic of prompting, we could also speak about the alignment of the goals. So, is what I want aligned with what the machine is about to do or not? So, my prompt is aligned with the preparation of the machine or not? Normally, it is not. So it is also not true, because I am participating in a variety of seminars. I am also doing workshop about AI. I'm speaking with other professionals, of course, about AI. And there is this mythical thought about the fact that if I ask to the machine to do something very specific, I will get that object, if we are talking about an object. So I'm gonna take this object, exactly, you see that is quite sophisticated somehow, with all these beautiful flowers, and I ask the machine to replicate this cup. You will never get the same object. So the
Yes.
machine is not copy pasting the prompt and the input. It is recreating the object, but starting from a different set, that is to say, categories of input. So you will get infinite cup of tea or mug, okay, this object, but you will never get exactly what
Exactly.
you are
Yeah.
looking for. You will never get exactly
Right.
this object. And this is what
Right.
I call the heterogony of the ends. In Italian is the eterogenesi dei fini. That means that, especially in creative fields, you cannot achieve exactly what your imagination is creating, but you should be able to select and accept what the machine is giving you back from the initial prompt. This is something that for me is really unique, and it's not well understood by many colleagues of mine, that still nowadays they think that the machine is like a Harry Potter stick. Okay, it's like
Right.
something magical. Like I ask for the cup of tea, I do my magic trick and I get this. No, I do the magic trick about that cup and I get this. That is
It's right.
different. And I
Different.
have to different, and I have to accept these new flowers, not the other
Right.
ones.
And every
It's up.
single
It's
time you get the different cup or different mug, right?
sorry, different.
Every time you ask for the cup or the mug, you will get a different one.
Exactly,
Right.
always
And
different.
uh, what do you think about like this is a kind of out of a topic, but like what we see in Siri or Google Assistant, like we command something like where is the nearest place for a restaurant, and then that generates the location from the map, gathers the knowledge, and give it back to us. If it's Google, then they shows the location here. There are the places that you can go and eat. So what you're trying to say is like there will be a thing for the chat GPT or the mid journey that we can command vocally and then get output from them. Is it a kind
I
of a similar thing? Yeah.
I think definitely yes. It is kind of exactly what you said. Then I do not like for also personal privacy issues so much to use Siri as well as
Hmm.
many other tool, but
Right.
we definitely are going towards the so-called technological convergence of everything. So
Right.
at a certain point, we will have I don't know, Zubayer, if you have seen the movie Her, but we will have one digital person that
Like,
probably
yes.
will help
Yes.
us,
Roaming around
or
the
a
house and us. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
probably this is the direction, and not only one, more than one. So like the driver assistant, if I have to use my machine to go to work, my personal team of creative, so different AI with different specialization, a musician and a director, a graphic designer, a copywriter, an accountant to prepare all my Excel pages. This is more or less the future. But we always need to understand that until we speak about narrow artificial intelligence, we are speaking about tool. So
Right.
essentially, the entrance of artificial intelligence in our lives, of course, is a huge turning point, a moment of clarity where in which everything is changing. But on the other side, it's no longer different from the introduction of photography. And
Yeah.
when photography entered in the world, of course, if I were at the time a painter making portrait, I am about to lose my job. Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
But we invented abstract art. We started to do abstract art. So we started to produce another kind of art, performative art,
Right.
and different form of expression. So once,
So I was looking through your profile and portfolio. So I have seen different type of collections like fashion for contribution of fashion and all. So can you suggest for using Mid Journey? So from our side, so when we give any kind of input from Mid Journey or other AI tools to get some outputs like design and stuff in fashion or a dress or a composition, anything. So how we can control the outputs? Like when I type something and I get something else, like definitely AI doesn't work like our brain and our imagination is a different thing. So what is your suggestion to get controlled output from Midjourney. What is your suggestion?
I try normally. This is funny because the question that you put is very serious, and I hope also interesting for creative people. But my
Yeah,
answer would like it to be a bit funny because it is for me funny to say when I am working with Andrea Filippi, for instance. It's like he is more rational in the approach. I am more bizarre in the approach with the machine. So I always try to prompt, so to give input that are crazy. With also already in the prompt some mistakes, some hallucinations, some I repeated the words, I put numbers. I really try not to speak like a human. Okay. Uh, Andrea is more also because he has a background as art director and graphic designer. He knows perfectly, I don't know, the color palette, which kind of colors he wanted to achieve. He's very precise.
right.
And and it's nice to see that sometimes I am more, I don't want to say successful in the achievement of the final output, but we both are successful, but very in a very different way. So again, to answer to you, I am somehow pushing also when I'm teaching AI to students to somehow collect, of course, a good experience. Okay, so of course the foundation when it comes to using the machine, but at a certain point to understand if you can create your own personal language in order to speak with Midjourney. I don't know if I completely
I was
answered
coming
to
to that
you.
particular point. Like, you already have taught your different students, so you've done with the students when it comes to AI. So can you share us about some good practice or good insight with you and your students that you have taught?
Oh, for sure, yes. But it would be nice here to have some student to give to in order to give some direct opinions and comments. But at the very beginning, when I start speaking exactly like we are doing, they are a bit afraid. It's like, oh my gosh, artificial intelligence, it will be difficult. I will lost my humanity. I am no longer a human being. I don't like this terrible kind of magical technology. Okay, this is the first moment. Then they start prompting a bit. I teach them how to do that, and it's like the output is not so nice. Try again, try again, try again, try again, and then there is always the, I call it the addiction moment, in which you cannot avoid to start to prompt and again and again and again, because you started to feel this link in between you and the visual outputs that you are receiving from Midjourney. After the addiction moment, normally you have people that again prefer not to mix with artificial intelligence. That is super legit, of course, and other people that definitely want to put the use of artificial intelligence in their creativity process, exactly understanding that artificial intelligence for us, for creative minds, is augmented imagination. If you use it in that way, the way you work definitely will change. And I'm trying to, of course, when it comes to student, I try to be as, I mean, very wise in order to teach them about this ethical or philosophical, if you want, issues behind just the use, because
Right.
it is much more important to ask when you have to ask yourself, okay, why am I using artificial intelligence, and what is
Right.
artificial intelligence, and then we start using it.
Using
So
it. Yes.
see. I do not like the technical only approach. So this is the way we prompt.
Okay.
No, let's understand perfectly what this magic tool is in order to keep out the magical part, because there is nothing magical inside, and then try to achieve your magic soul, try to
Amazing. Yes.
unleash your magic soul
Unleash. Yes.
with a tool that can amplify your imagination.
So it's also itself is a journey
And
and is a learning process. It's also for you, like whenever is using the tool and also for the tool. So it's a both way learning each other and make the same to create something, because the human mind is a different thinking machine and the machine is a different thing. So with coming all the AI related question and knowledge from you, it's amazing to know really. But right now, what I'm trying to ask and what I trying to get input from you is a little bit regarding fashion, global north and south, what our vision is like design in Bangladesh and design in global foundation is. So we have established the foundation because we think that is needed. Like from Bangladesh, we are the second largest exporter of fashion and the RMG in the industry for the global. But right now we are trying to do the thing to establish a statement called design in Bangladesh. So like Bangladesh has more to offer in designs as well. So what are you thinking? Like the design in Bangladesh statement will be one of the new items in the Bangladesh fashion industry. Can you share the glimpse overview, thought process, design in Bangladesh made in Europe initiative, that how it reflects on the global north, like how we can approach? We have already approached like 3 years back. One of our designer founder from Design in Global Foundation designed a shoe inspired by jackfruit, which is the national fruit of Bangladesh, designed from Bangladesh, and it's produced in Germany, Portugal, and marketed all over the north, global north, like Europe and stuff. So, what is the collaboration and reflection of global north? And regarding the stage of discussion in the future fashion and its interest with the sustainability in the creative industry. So what you think, what is the sustainable fashion means and its significance in the current fashion landscape?
I have never been in Bangladesh. I would like to be one day there to see with my eyes the beautiful country you are living in. First of all, I have
You're
seen
always welcome.
uh, we will organize probably something in the who knows. Let's see.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
but I also read about the collaboration that you mentioned in the production of the shoes, um, also with this keen eye about sustainability. I followed the case study that is online, and I found it very interesting. Why? Beh, to say it in a nice way, it is clear to everybody that the geopolitical world around us is definitely changing. We are witnessing again in these terrible years that something is definitely something big is around the corner somehow,
right,
or already here. And I am especially talking about, first of all, the big failure of the globalization culture that failed definitely, and the somehow the rise of local reality. For sure, Bangladesh, in my personal opinion, has all the good cards. You know, when you are playing cards, you have all the good cards in order not to be anymore just an exploited supplier, because I have to be very
Right.
honest and sincere.
Right.
So
Right.
an exploited supplier, but you should do what many suppliers in other parts of the world have already started to do. That is to say, to start, you have all the capacity, you have all the skills, you have the fabrics, you have the hands. Why are you supposed not to have the creativity? I cannot think that. You also have it.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
amongst the, you are one of the youngest population. We in
Yeah.
Europe are getting older and older every day. We are not even doing daughter and sons. Okay, you are like a spring. Okay, it's always a spring somehow in Bangladesh from this point of view. So I think personally that that is your turn to start. I would like not to say fighting, because we have already too much wars around the world, but to start entering, making your entrance on the big stage. This is something that I can observe. Of course, on the other side, you will meet for sure some resistance, because who has the power, of course, normally doesn't want to share it. And in this case, we are talking especially, I mean, we are talking about fashion. But I think it's something that you should definitely do in these recent years. So something that you personally, with your team, with the Designing Global Foundation, have already started to do. My invitation is to continue to do that. If I can help, I will be more than happy to be part of it, because I believe that we are all citizens of the world, despite
Right.
any cultural barriers, beyond any kind of physical boundaries. In fact, we are speaking each other, beyond any kind of, you can say religion, you can say costume. We are I like a lot to say, to use this metaphor. The planet which in which we are living in, it's like a small space station. Okay, it's like the space station. It's like the space station that is going around the Earth. Well, in the space station, we have different nationalities all together, and everybody is
Yeah.
collaborating, because there is
Yeah.
not a
Working
lot of
together. Yeah. Yes.
talking together. There is not a lot of oxygen. Everybody needs to be at his place,
Align.
not
Yes.
aligned, not fighting, despite the fact that if you believe in that God or in another one. And it's very important for me to understand that the planet is just a space station, just a bit larger and wider, but it is really the same. So I am Italian for sure, but I feel like we need to definitely understand that we are citizens of the world, since everything is connected, and it's only stupid not to give opportunity to new creative minds to reach the same level of creativity that you already have, but only you do not have so many stages to present it. So I hope for this change to be around the corner soon.
Thank you so much for your knowledge and all the words and wisdom. So I was visited 2023 September was probably, yes, like Italy, Milano, and I went to Paris as well, few design schools. So I met with some professors and students. So they are most likely to have a great interest to work with the industry that are actually contributing for the fashion and R&D, like us, Bangladesh. So in our title, in this conversation, the other way around. So what we are planning to do is flip the coin, other side, so that we can share the knowledge, the actual process, how we produce a garment or a fashion statement, like someone's imagination design into reality. So they're really interested to work with us and share the knowledge, get the knowledge from us. And also, we would like to have this interest to learn from you. So I hope this is the starting of ours. We have already started the journey. It's not a war, but it's kind of an aggressive statement, and we are working together. We need to work together in this situation. So today's conversation is really knowledgeful. Mostly, we have covered most of the things of AI on the basic level, I guess. So I hope and think that we will be discussing more if our audience and the students who are listening or viewing our show today, if they have interest that we can collab more and have more information, more knowledge from you. So we'll be inviting you in our next program if we get to have the ability and approach from others. So thank you for being with us and share your knowledge and wisdom.
Thank you, Zubayer.
And we thank you
Thank you
from
so
Bangladesh,
much.
from our team, yes, for your time and knowledge. I know you're really busy with your lectures and you have associated with different groups and organizations. You have come to us to share your knowledge. It's really thankful, and we will be hoping whenever we need you, we will be getting more support from you and your side from your team. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, audience, for
Zubayer,
viewing
thank you
our
so
show
much
today.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Thank you so much as
yes.
well. For me, these are not as well. These are not just fluffy words. Do believe in. I have now that I am in the moment of my life in which I can decide what to say, and I can decide the person I wanted to work together with. So for me, it's only a pleasure today to have had this beautiful, nice discussion, debate with you about artificial intelligence. And regarding the future, for me, it will be just a pleasure to visit or to have you here as a guest, or by the way, to do workshops, seminars, lessons, books, everything that can be useful for your association to grow up and for Bangla people to achieve
Thank you so much. Yes.
to enter in the stage definitely. So thank you again, Zubayer, a lot for your time, your smile, the optimistic view that you have about life and your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being generous. Thank you. Thank you, audience. We'll be seeing you soon. Today, this is the end of the program, the session, the other way around. See you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye.